Thursday morning. How y'all doing, baby? Motivation and inspiration. Shout out to everybody that's up going to work, going to school, getting the kids up for daycare. Already at work. My people on the other side of the globe about to lay down and put their head on the pillow. I love you all. Hope you tapped in with the plug. Off the rip, what's 5 things you're grateful for? Gotta stay in a state of gratitude in this crazy thing called life. Your bed, your pillow, your covers. Did you have some water? You're grateful for your job. You may not like your job, but at least you can pay your bills. You're grateful for your car. It may not be your dream car, but at least you got a whip to hop in to get to A to B. You know, my whole childhood, we never had a car. If we couldn't get there on the metro, we wasn't going. And that's really what started me to have the discipline to create the life I wanted. And I want to challenge everybody to look inside yourself and say, could I be a little more disciplined this morning? Like when I was 15 years old, I walked to Crown Center, if you know about Kansas City. It's a little mini mall. And I went inside of every place in there and I asked for a job application. 15 years old. And I got hired at Fritz Railroad Restaurant, making $5.15 an hour as a busboy. And since then, I've never been without a job consistently. I've known that I can get off the couch and I can go make money. And so I want to ask you, what's something you can do to get closer to your dreams, closer to your goals on this beautiful Thursday morning? Because the world wants you complacent. It wants you to be dependent on someone else and look for somebody else to provide you with the resources. But the truth is, everything that you need to be successful is already within you. It's already tucked inside you. But you gotta seek the kingdom, which is like, you know how you stand in front of a mirror and it's real foggy, and the more you clean it off, the more you can see a clear picture. I say that's what it's like getting in touch with the internal world inside yourself, the spiritual world. I'm in a good mood this morning because my children was woke when I left. Well, 4 of my 7, my 4-year-old, my 3-year-old, and my 18-month-old baby girl, they were woke. So I got to get some hugs and some loving and some kissing on them this morning. And to me personally, I say fatherhood is the greatest spiritual experience because it made me care about something bigger than myself. And having dead children is a really unique experience. Like every day, as much as I can like just talk and be transparent with everybody, man, it's always in the back of my mind, like I really have 2 children buried in a cemetery. It's a surreal experience, but it also, man, it helps me take life a little more serious. It helps me understand that this thing will end. And the vision that I got in my head, I got to put in the work for it to come to reality. Faith without work is dead. It's a unique motivator, but I want to ask you, what's your motivation? What hardship did you go through in life that made you say, this is it? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because you gotta get to a point where you disgust it. You disgust it with being poor. You disgust it with making bad choices. You disgust it waking up with a hangover. And once you get tired of yourself, that's when change starts. And you can change when it's peaceful, or you can change when it's at the worst of the worst of the worst and you forced to change. I would encourage you to change while it's peaceful, but you're going to do your thing. And like Pac said, I ain't mad at you. But man, when I lost my first son, I can honestly say I didn't really mature. When Jay Sean passed away, that was October 11, 2007. October 12th, I was at a different girl's house. I was young and I was reckless, and I say these things because we don't understand that we cause a lot of the trauma in our life unconsciously. See, I went from girl to girl to girl to girl to girl trying to find something that was already inside of me. That's why I tell everybody to seek the kingdom first, because it's a bunch of men who feel like, oh, I'm going to be a better person. I'll knock this girl down. And then you get that empty feeling and you go to another girl and another girl. And same with young ladies. They walk away sleeping with all these different men, feeling unfulfilled and unloved. And you got to really find a way to love yourself. And so Jay Sean passed away. And I think I probably took maybe 2 days off work and was still out being the same Johnny, running around with girl to girl, playing a lot of basketball. But I never healed anything that was inside of myself. I ran away from every problem that I ever had. I was able to mask it. Some people run to alcohol, some people run to drugs. I always had a girl in my face to distract me from the poverty and the violence and feeling low. And then when my second son passed away, Johnny Jr., man, that's I didn't wake up all the way, but the process started. I can still remember seeing him that morning. I put him in a green Rockaware onesie. He had a little white R on it. He had some blue jeans on and some white Jordan Retro 6s. I put him in his car seat and I kissed him. I had no idea that that'd be the last day that he was on earth. I remember speeding to the hospital and getting to the hospital when they made us go inside this little consultation room before they would let us see him. And that's how I knew something was weird. And then they broke the news to us that he was dead. And I went in there and seen his little 4.5-month-old body lifeless. His hair was standing straight up because they had tried to shock him so many times to bring him back to life. But he was already blue, so you could tell that he had been gone for like a minute. I mean, that was wild, bro. Like, that's the moment when I almost went inside and found myself. I almost went to Christ, but I didn't. I rejected him, and I went 0 to 100, and I doubled down on my negative ways. And then I got to 25 years old, and that's when my mother overdosed on opioids. And I was a huge mama's boy. When I lost my mama, it really made me be disgusted with myself because she never got to see the man that she raised. My mama didn't raise me to be no guy sleeping with 4 or 5 women at a time. And it's like we all gotta lose something for us to realize this thing is real. And I can't say why losing my children didn't really affect me. Maybe because I was 19 and 22, so I was young and my brain just really, I was just sleeping with people. It wasn't valuable. But man, now that my mama is gone, I look at my kids every day and I'm so happy to see their faces. Like, if you're a parent, you get what I'm saying. You'll never regret spending more time with your children. I've learned that when they say, daddy, 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 and I want to get frustrated, I've been able to stop and pause and imagine myself as an 80-year-old man and look at them and see that they're grown with their own children, and I'm able to smile. And I think it's such a blessing that God allowed me to be able to pause and reflect at such a young age. Like, I'm in my 30s and I got insights of what life is going to be like in my 60s and stuff. And I was watching the Jordan Peterson video the other day, and he was saying most men don't even have their life together at 30. They don't even know what they want to be or who they want to become. And I'm like, man, at 20, bro, I was making bottles in the middle of the night, changing diapers. You know, like, my whole 20s I've spent being a father, being a man, being a provider. And so here I am in my 30s, and I feel dummy mature. Like, all the stress and the trauma that people have in the world, I'm like, that's what's throwing y'all off? And I'm blessed to grow up with such a hard life, because now I'm able to be at peace with myself. And I'm sure other people understand that and get what I'm saying, that when you grow up with so much trauma as a child, you look around and say, why is all this happening to me? And then you grow up and see it wasn't a punishment, it was a lesson, so you could become a better person, so you can help the people around you. When I started this channel, I had no idea that so many people all around the world would be interested in my perspective. And I keep saying we all have a story to tell, every single one of us. And I hope my story inspires you to tell your story, because maybe you grew up similar to how I did, in poverty and violence and murder. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you grew up and it was pure, peaceful and bliss. Maybe you grew up with money, but parents didn't really show you love or didn't really encourage you. Like, I know our world is dummy negative, and I easily can make content criticizing women all day or criticizing men or whatever, but just think about how many people in life go 24 hours without hearing anything positive from the people around them. You stupid, you dumb, you ugly. Remember watching Matilda as a kid, how her parents was really mean to her? Grab that concept that it's really kids on earth right now with mean ass parents. It's really people who get bullied every day when they go to school for their shoes. It's really women that are insecure as hell about their body. Like, I seen it said Megan Fox suffers from something where she's insecure about her body. And something I can say that I know as a man, the prettiest women are always the most insecure about something, because they run into the most men who treat them like trash and talk most disrespectful to them and always want to use them. But if you can, once again, slow down and be mindful that if pretty girls are self-conscious, how do you think the girl that's 20 pounds overweight feel about herself? How do you think the girl that's 50 pounds overweight feel about her? Regardless of the image she's trying to present to the world, that I'm happy and I'm a baddie, how you think she really feel on the inside? We got to know these things. How you think that 400-pound man really feeling his inside? That's why I credit people who decide to go to the gym and start making healthier choices. Everyone on the inside knows how they feel about themselves. You don't have what your words. Why do you need to pull them down a little more? Because they look like they on a high horse, so you want to humble them, and they one step away from deleting themselves. Yes, that super pretty girl is not happy with her life. Yes, this man, they got all this money and this nice ass cars, he still want to end it. We judge people off how pretty they are and the material items they have, and that's the furthest thing from the truth to determine somebody's pure happiness. But I really try to do my part with speaking life into people who don't hear positive words, because you never know who you can inspire. You never know who you can impact. I'm sure it's people who was having really negative days and they heard me talk and was like, damn, man, I need to hear that. I see comments that say that. It's people who say that the way I think, it allows them to get into my world. It helps them open up their perspective. And if this was your last 24 hours, would you want to spend that 24 hours being negative? Would you want to hurt people's feelings? Or would you want to leave everybody with the feeling of increase? The feeling good, that they can have a positive last impression of you? See, where I'm from, the minute somebody died, you see 45 people on Facebook. Oh my God, he was so this, and he wasn't shit. Tell the truth. I already told my daddy that. I said, hey, daddy, I love you, but the only way I'm coming into your funeral is if I can tell the truth, because I'm not about to stand in front of these people and lie. I want to talk about how I witnessed you beat my mama. I want to talk about how you wrecked my first car drunk. I want to talk about all the negative aspects, but I want to talk about that I still love you and what I learned from you. See, I think that's the biggest problem in our families, is we don't really tell the truth. Like Tupac said, even though you was a crack fiend, you always was a black queen. That is a damn lie. I don't look at my mama as a black queen. She was just a black woman who had a kid and did the best she could to raise him, and I am a product of that. And I am extremely grateful for her bringing me into this life, because she easily could have popped that Plan B pill or went to Planned Parenthood and hit the deletion. But she wasn't a queen or a god or a goddess and none of that. She was my Steffi. She was my baby. And I think anybody that you put on God status, you're eventually going to hate. That's why people get upset at their favorite athletes and actors and musicians, because you put them on a God status and you don't even know them as a real person. My mama had flaws. She made bad choices. She made bad decisions. You know what I mean? She had me taking her to the club when I was in high school and I should have been sleeping. You know, she taught me to scam every possible way I could. But at the end of the day, they was my parents and I loved them. Like, when my mom passed away, I was extremely truthful about the way she raised me and what I learned from her and what she could have done better, as I expect my children to be. I don't need you to make me sound like I'm better than I am, you know? But I do feel the key to happiness is forgiving your parents or whoever raised you, because a lot of people don't grow up with two parents. A lot of people grow up with a single parent. A lot of people. Forgive your mama. If she was a single mom, you know how stressed she probably was trying to raise you and turn you into a good person, and trying to date and men playing her and wasting her time and all that, and she was stressed as hell. If you grew up not knowing your daddy, forget it, man. You don't know what he went through. You don't know what his life was like. You don't know what problems were stressing. Like, forgive and let go so you can accept the positive things that's supposed to come in your life. See, you can't be happy and sad at the same time. You can't be positive and negative at the same time. But if you walk around, man, my mama this, and my mama scarred me so much, and my daddy scarred me so much, or my grandma this, or my cousin, or my teacher, or whatever it is, man, any external resentment that you have towards anyone in this world, it's only with you. I look back at everything that's ever happened in my life, and it was a positive. Even at that moment, if I didn't feel it was a positive, I've grown to accept it as a positive, because it was a lesson. I'm still here. I can move forward, and it's air still in my body. Like, I'm still here. And in the environment where people die on a daily basis, every day you wake up, you turn it, with me anyway, it's a homicide every morning when I wake up. That I'm grateful that I still get to be here to make these experiences with you guys. Like, I was listening to a Wayne Dyer meditation, and it hit me like, damn, man, this man is really gone. and I could just listen to his voice and be inspired. And I keep saying that our art is going to outlive us, but it really clicked with me. Like, if you go to Wayne Dyer's Instagram page, his children run it, and it'll say, well, today was Dad's birthday, or this is one of Dad's favorite quotes. And it's like, man, this is going to be my kids one day. This is going to be my grandchildren. Like, this was Grandpa Johnny's art motivation on Monday morning, 2023. And it puts such a smile on my face because, you know, it isn't always about the material benefits. The spiritual world is real. And I keep saying, you got to put art out to this world, because the same way Wayne Dyer's children are still running his channel and producing his content, the same way Kevin Samuels has new content coming out to his family, is going to be putting out to the world. Man, when you start creating your art, it's not about the right now. It's about the 75 years from now when you sitting around with your grandchildren and they put your first video on TV and you get to see it for the first time. See, the thing that I understand about creating art is your first video is going to suck. Your first podcast is going to suck. Your first drawing is going to suck. The first time you try to write a rap song, it's probably going to be trash. I did not know what I was doing when I decided to start this process and give my gifts to the world. And currently, I'm still in rough draft mode. However, that's not going to stop me from keep growing and learning and becoming better. And I encourage you to do the same. Not influence, baby, encourage. Shine your light, give your gift to the world. You never know who you can motivate or who you can inspire. On this Thursday, I hope you have a super mega awesome day. Be extremely happy, be extremely grateful, stay in a state of Thanksgiving. Blow a bag on everybody around you, spread love, spread positive vibes. Till tomorrow, baby, we outie. I love you all. Peace.